This is Tales from the Shed, although it's not really from the shed. I'm not in the shed, as you can probably tell. I'm in my living room. Um, I'm Alison Thieker.
And I'm Anne Hope, and I am in the shed.
So this week we've decided to try and, deal with these kind of interesting circumstances that we're in. And what we're going to talk about today was inspired by a meditation. I'm part of a meditation circle where we are doing meditation every day. And this morning, the meditation was about concentrating on our sacral chakra. And I'm a little bit hazy about where all the chakras are and what they mean. So somebody who knows a bit more about it, fortunately for me, is Anne. So just tell me a bit about that whole sacral chakra and what that kind of does, concentrating on that a bit of us.
Well, interestingly, I've been teaching this quite a lot recently in the yoga and meditation that I've been doing online, which is quite interesting. But the base chakra is pretty much where your cervix is, which is kind of the flowering of who we are. It is our reproduction, it's where we are. And that's the base chakra. The sacral chakra is just above that, and it is situated about an inch below your belly button. So you've got the base chakra, which is I am, I exist, I come from source energy, I am connected with the universe, it is what I am. And then the sacral chakra is just above that, which is I feel. So it's where people feel stuff, where you get the butterflies, where you think, oh, it's I love them, or I don't know, or I'm fearful. So they're connected. One is I am, and one is I feel. And then we go up into the other areas, the solar plexus and the heart and the throat. But they're really important for who we are and how we connect. And what I've been teaching is a lot around this area, which is very interesting that it's come from your meditation at the moment, because it's our connection to source. We've lost our connection to each other, to nature, just by the way that we're living right now. But we've got to keep that connection. We don't want to become isolated completely, so we can lose connection with who we are and what we truly feel. So tell me about how it felt for you.
Well, it was actually really great. It felt very centering. It felt like taking it back into myself, and concentrating on that part of it, rather than maybe being affected by whatever's kind of going on outside and whatever is happening, whatever people are talking about on social media or on the news or anything like that. It felt like I can get back into myself. And I think that's not just this meditation this morning, but actually just meditating for 20 minutes every day is a moment in the day when I'm just me and I'm thinking about me. I'm kind of thinking about my breathing. I'm not at the effect of everything else.
And
So
I think
that, yeah.
at the moment, especially, that we're on the chakras, that we're meditating on these chakras, because the chakras are what connects us to our true self, our spiritual self, that higher self, whatever you want to call it. But it's that bit of ourself that we know is beyond our body and beyond our mind. And what's important about that area is that it's taking you back into alignment again, back into Alison's connection with Alison's possibility of being the best she can, because you get knocked off balance, so the chakras kind of lose that connection. So did you do any particular visualization with this, or was it just thinking about it? I mean, how did it actually work for you in this time? Because I have my way of doing it, so I'm always curious about other people's.
Yeah, so what happens is I'm doing this, she calls it a prayer circle. It's a woman called Katie Gostick, and she works with roses. So she'll give us an image of a rose, and there was this particular rose, and she said, like, take that in visualize that rose within that, and that rose is spinning in your sacral chakra, and it's going through those kind of feelings of your creativity, and your prosperity and your sexuality. All of those things are kind of connected, and placing it there in the sacral chakra. So maybe more concerned with, like you say, how we're feeling at the moment rather than how we are. So that's how it worked. And it's quite an easy thing for me to do. I can visualize that picture. I can take that picture and I can put it wherever it is in the body rather than having to have other kind of things going on. So it was a really good and grounding.
You'll know this, being a Reiki person, is that the heart will very often, when you use the Reiki energy, the heart and the base chakra connect, because the base chakra connects with ourselves, which is our heart and our love and our connection. And I think it's very easy in this life, not in this life, but where we are in this life, is to lose that abundance. We're living in fear, we're living in lockdown, we're living in closed down. And I am is really what children do. They just are. They just run and do a cartwheel and succeed or fail. They just run and do a forward roll. It's that joyful, childlike energy is the sacral chakra. I feel and I do. And then you've kind of got this fear of you're not allowed to do. Mm-hmm. So I think the momentum is very important, because the momentum can become fear. And we need to stop that momentum and think of abundance. And I think opening up that abundance is really important to keep our positivity, the abundance of, not just abundance of money, but abundance of who we could possibly be, our best selves. So I think it's really nice that you're doing that.
Yeah, and I think it's like we were talking about earlier, about that whole idea of, if we're having that conversation about abundance, about, maybe what are we attracting, the law of attraction, what are we attracting, given that a lot of our external circumstances at the moment are no way within our control. So, but we still have control of where we are at the moment. So that whole thing of attraction, what are we attracting to ourselves in this time?
And it should be joy and abundance, even though we're in a close down. So I think it's really important to keep that momentum of I am and I feel and who am I potentially could be coming. We can still do that.
Yeah, and it's pretty difficult, I think, when there are so many things coming at us from all sides that are really, as you say, encouraging that kind of fear, that going from fear. And even if we kind of have in our heads, we know that whatever we're doing is okay, or whatever it is that we choosing to do in this situation with the circumstances that we're dealing with, there's always this kind of low level anxiety about, are we doing the right thing? Is this the right thing? Is this the legal thing? All of those kind of things are kind of just getting in the way, and I suppose tempting us to be more in our head more than anywhere else.
Absolutely.
So it's more about trying to have that sensation of, what do we feel about this? What are we about this? And being the person that we are, rather than being at the effect of all of the other stuff.
And then joining through, yeah. So perhaps we need to do some more about this, something a bit more physical, something a bit more about this. So earlier we were talking about perhaps doing some meditations, doing some very, very simple yoga movements, just some very simple ones that we can incorporate into the meditation. And we were talking about doing that next time, maybe.
Yeah, I think we had the kind of conversation. So this really, for this Tales from the Shed, this is our starting with this strange way of working for us. So after this one, what we're going to do, the next two, one is going to be about a meditation on loving kindness, which we thought was very appropriate at the moment. And then another, we'll do a simple 5-minute yoga, kind of routine, which people could do in the morning, which is definitely going to be about maybe more grounding and more being in ourselves. So I think that's it for this episode of Tales from the Shed. Anne, unless you want to say anything else here?
No, we'll catch you in loving kindness.
Brilliant. Okay, bye for now.